What's going on, guys? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, we're doing an upgrade on some leaf springs to a 1966 Mustang. Check it out. I've already installed this side right here, so you can see what the new side looks like compared to the old side here. I'm going to show you how to do this side. This is a real simple project. You can do it home yourself. First thing I want to do is, the bolts are all rusty, so I put some nut blaster on it to loosen up the rust. You got here, there's 4 here on the U-bolts, and there's 1 in the back right here. We're also going to update the shocks. He bought new shocks also. All right, guys. Come back tomorrow morning, I'll show you how to do it. See you in the morning. All right, guys, good morning. That penetrating oil had plenty of time to work, so let's get started on this. First thing I'm gonna do is set a jack up under the rear end. The reason why I'm putting a jack under the rear end is so when you remove that leaf spring, this rear end don't come falling down. Plus, it gives you a little bit of room to work if you have to go up or down some. You just put a little bit of pressure on it, just enough to the rear end just starts to move. There's a few ways to do this. The way I like to do it is, I like to remove the lower U-bolt bracket first. And we're going to start by removing the shock. This has a locking nut and a nut, so you're going to remove the locking nut first. And that is held on with a 9/16. That's the locking nut I'm talking about. All right, now you can go ahead and get the 4 U-bolt brackets. They're held on with 11/16. When I'm removing the U-bolt brackets, even though I have a jack securing the rear end, I like to go in a circle pattern. Release the pressure a little bit at a time. It's just an extra safety precaution that I like to use. The kit we purchased for this vehicle did not come with the plate, so we're going to be using the plate. Shock is loose. Shock gets removed from the inside. And we'll do that last. U-bolts. That rear leaf spring was held on with a 9/16 bolt. I took it all the way off. This way when I remove the front, it'll come swinging down this way and it'll stay up there. Then after it comes down, we'll take the brackets off. Doing this by yourself, I think it's the easiest way. The front bolt is a 3/4. Put a wrench on this side, hold the nut. There's your nut. You're gonna need to put one hand on the shackle while you keep turning it out. Once you remove that bolt, it's just going to swing down and just let it hang. There is no easy way to get the top bolt on the rear leaf spring, so just get yourself a speed wrench and go to town. There you go. Going to remove the bracket. You're going to get a pry bar, go on the back side, and pry it out. And there you go, 1 leaf spring. Want to make sure you get the bushings out. You're going to go back with new ones. I want to give you guys a little bit of a tip. I use wheel bearing grease and just a very little bit on the bushings when you're installing it. It helps everything go together smoothly. Some people don't like that, it says it causes problems. I've been doing it for 45 years. I've never had one come back. I've never had one with a problem. Literally, I use this much, next to nothing, and I'll put it around the bushing. It just helps it slide in just a little bit easier. When you're putting the bushings through the frame, same thing, just a little bit of grease. Put just a little bit on the shaft. At this point, it's hanging like this. You'll pivot it forward and then install the front leaf spring bolt. All right. Once you get the front bolt through, get your 3/4, make sure you get it good and tight. Go ahead and get your bracket for the rear. Make sure when you're putting the bolts on, the tapered side goes out. And for the top one, you get your speed wrench and just wrench away. When you're putting the rear mount on, there's a hole in the middle. It's what bolts the leaf springs together. Make sure that bolt goes through the middle here. So it's gonna sit just like this when it's up in there. When you're doing it, just finger tight it to start with. Just get a couple threads on it. When you go to line it up, make sure you want to line it up where the U-bolts are straight. If you look, see how they're at an angle. So I have to take it and bring the leaf spring this way just a little bit, and you'll start tightening it up. But go small steps. Just tighten this one a little bit, this one a little bit. Keep the threads equal as you're doing it. All right guys, that's all it is to getting the leaf spring in. I'm gonna go ahead and get the car lowered down, get the rear shocks on, and take it for our test drive. All right, these are the shocks going on the car. They're a Scott Drake. They're gas charged shocks. To get the rear shock bolts, you have to take the back seat out. The bottom of the seat just lifts up. It snaps in around these brackets. The back part of the seat, you have 2 screws on both sides that go through like this. You'll take the screws out and the seat just lifts out, and there are the bolts. One there, and there's one there. These shocks are toast. When you compress it like this, they're supposed to come back out automatically. With the upgrade on the leaf springs and the shocks, he's gonna see a world of difference in his ride. Watch the difference. Come right back up. When installing the new shock, slide it up in the top first, compress it some, let it come back out. Go back with your rubber bushing, bottom washer. Comes with 2 bolts. One is going to tighten it up and one's going to be the locking bolt. There you go. All right guys, I'm going to get the car lowered down, finish installing the shocks, get the back seat in, and take it for his test drive. That's it for this video guys. Appreciate you watching. Catch you later.